Dear adventurers, what try everything at least once experience have you regretted terribly? Boxing. Got myself knocked out in short order, but still managed to break a rib first. Pee blood for a week as well. Good times. I hated hot air ballooning. I'm 6 feet 4 inches, 1.95 m, and too tall to be riding in a basket that's below my hip. One bump and I'm going over the edge. My mum bet me a £1 I wouldn't drink a pint glass of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Interesting fact, a large amount of lemon juice doesn't taste like lemon. It tastes like Bernie sick. I made about £4 from some friends who didn't believe I could eat a whole lemon. Lemons are delicious. Never take a recreational dose of Benadryl. DPH. Freaking terror tripping. 800 milligrams of that crap and you won't even realize you're conversing with your friend who died in the 4th grade. So much regret. I ate a whole onion like an apple. It's like eating flaming sulfuric acid, if doing that gave you bad breath for a week. A guy at my university ate an entire raw onion then shed a single tear. Lending money to friends, especially if you know they aren't that financially responsible. It gets harder to ask as more time progresses and it can potentially ruin friendships. Now I strictly adopt a no lending money to friends policy. The only thing I'm willing to do is spot a friend for a meal or coffee. You have to treat any loan to a friend or family member as a gift. I was super aroused and, as such, my kink dial was turned up to ridiculous levels. For some reason I got an overwhelming urge to drink a tiny bit of my girlfriend's pee. Big freaking mistake. It was gut-churningly vile, and the taste wouldn't go away. For the next day or two I got flashes of the taste and nearly got sick every time. But the fact that she was willing to pee in your mouth means you have a keeper. Tripping while camping. It was mostly fine until I hiked back to my car to grab more supplies. In my ultimate wisdom I decided to listen to Pink Floyd in the car without turning off my flashlight. On the way back my batteries died on the cliffside path while I was peeking. I crawled the last mile on my hands and knees but I made it to the campsite. Tripping while camping is great but yet use a buddy system. I was cleaning my oven and instead of spraying it and leaving it overnight I decided to try the warm directions. Turn oven to 200°F for a few minutes. Turn off. Then wipe clean in 5 minutes. I barely made it out alive. I've been saving this story for a moment just like this. For some backstory, I've always had pretty bad allergies. This combined with a deviated septum, born with a minor case plus broken my nose many times, means I very rarely get any air through my nostrils. My girlfriend's stepdad has a garden, and being a cool dude gave me a small chili pepper one day with the explicit instruction to only take small bites. Use it as a bet or something. This chili pepper sat in my dorm fridge for a week, waiting like a dormant volcano. So one day my allergies are really acting up, and the inability to breathe is driving me insane. After arriving at my dorm holding McDonald's sweet tea and Rolo McFlurry, I decided I've had enough. The idea strikes me to clear my sinuses with something spicy. Being the only spicy thing available, that pepper becomes my salvation. I grab it from the fridge, and in what I can only describe as a moment of rage-induced insanity, I eat the whole thing. Chew, swallow, down the tubes in a matter of seconds. Instant sinus relief. Right? Wrong? The pain and burning in my esophagus was so intense, I began to dry heave and have full body spasms. Drank the entire sweet tea and ate the whole McFlurry as quickly as I could shovel it into my face, only to bolt to the toilet and throw it up. Huddled around the toilet and cried seizured for an hour. Fell asleep on the porcelain pillow. Roommate came home, thought I failed my final and was bummed out. Left me to die. Never again. TL. DR. Chili peppers are not viable for sinus relief. Clinically tested. Spicy food works well for clearing your sinuses out. The trick is to eat something with a mild burn and build up to a stable plateau of burning. My friends and I used to wander the storm drains and we got lost one night and popped out on a random street. We didn't bother putting the manhole cover back on and then we watched a car drive right into the manhole, snap an axle and crash into another car. We immediately ran away. Purposely hiking to the top of a mountain with full camping gear during a scheduled rainstorm. It was fun looking back, but I'll be damned if I will knowingly do that again. I once ate an entire pod of Moruga scorpion chili, also known as the world's hottest chili. I also did it in at a busy beach with no drink to wash it down with. The moment I took the first bite, the most intense pain set in, followed by uncontrollable crying and then even more intense pain. Like it took 30 minutes to reach its peak, and it was pretty bad to begin with anyway. The worst part is when I started vomiting and chili bile got into my nose and sinuses. You think eating a chili is bad? Try snorting it. The constant stomach pain for the next couple of days didn't make me feel any better, and neither did the following morning's crap. It was some intense crap. Literally and figuratively, I guess. One of my friends in high school crushed a peri peri pepper in his hand and told me to turn around, then blew it in my eyes. I spent the next couple of hours in a lot of pain, standing in the ice shower of the chemistry lab. It burned my nose incredibly and I didn't even feel the high or like it. Actually, now that I think about it, drug use in general was probably one big regret. I regret most drugs, but pure MDMA was the freaking bomb. Dave's Insanity hot sauce. When I was in high school, a bunch of buddies were over and I told them about this hot sauce my dad uses. We all took a tiny amount. I'm talking stick a toothpick in the bottle and taste what's on it. Mind you, my dad puts this stuff on like ketchup. Literally 2 minutes later we finished every piece of bread and every gallon of milk in the house and our mouths and throats were still on fire. Moral of the story: never try Dave's Insanity hot sauce. Dating a stripper who turned out to be a seakhead, who also turned out to be wanted for murder. This was truly the trifecta of insanity. Jesus frick. Shaving my pubes. That was a horrible 2 weeks. Sure, it'll make it look bigger and feel better during sex, but the itch while my pubes grew back was just crazy. I hear this a lot, starting to feel like I am the only one who doesn't get itchy pubes when they start growing back. Eating dog. Tasted like the smell of a wet dog and it still hurts in the ethics. Everything once, but at fricking least it could have tasted slightly appealing. Ugh. Trying to help out a stranger in need of money transaction. $5,000 worth of regret. If I ever resorted to becoming a murderer, I always imagined it would be because I ran into her again. That does not sound fun, my man. If you need help disposing of a body, I've never tried that, so maybe I'll help. Ham loaf. I make my daughter try everything we have. I've been a big stickler all my life of, well, at least try it. So far, in my 40+ years on this planet, this is the only thing I'll look back on and say I wish I hadn't done that. It was a dinner party for family. My brother's fiancee's mom decided to have us over. I'll spare you all the details. However, her meal of choice was mac and cheese, some other crap I've blocked out of my memory, and ham loaf. This is exactly what it sounds like. Meatloaf, but made out of ham. I mean, seriously. Who does this for a dinner of 8 people? What happened to safe dishes, like pasta, or chicken frickin' ham loaf? Man. I will try my best to describe this abomination of culinary ineptitude. Imagine a meatloaf. Got that? With all the peppers, and onions, and quality good stuff in there? Still got it? Okay. Turn that crap pink. Yep, doesn't look too appetizing, does it? Yet, somehow, it managed to taste worse than it looked. It was crap. I can't even. If acid reflux tasted like a specific food, this would be it. I took a bite and nothing short of an oral holocaust ensued. It took me at least 5 minutes to digest one bite. Worst thing I have ever seen, eaten, or even heard of. TLDR. Pink ham loaf of destruction. I was going to go for the karma whoring novelty answer, but really, Australia's spiciest burger. 3 bites, 4 solid hours of crying and on, then the aftermath. Oh dear god, the aftermath. It didn't even taste good. I lived in Hawaii for 3 years and developed a try anything once attitude with regards to food. I'm from the Midwest and for being raised on meat and potatoes this was a bit awkward. My palate grew leaps and bounds after I tried sushi, poi and a bunch of exotic fruits. I had no fear of food up until a certain point, and this is where the story takes an interesting turn. I worked with this Filipino SP guy who was an excellent chef and worked as a decorative food creator on the side. He made a watermelon into a shark. That type of stuff. He came into work one day and told us that he was hosting a traditional Filipino feast at his house and wanted to invite a few of us to come over and mingle, try his food and drink. He certainly had a feast waiting for all of his guests. There was a roast pig, pulled pork, chicken, different fish dishes, all sorts of stuff. At the end of the table sat a Tupperware dish with eggs and some type of oil sauce on it. I assumed they were boiled or deviled eggs. They were not. So, apparently there is a traditional Filipino dish where they take eggs that have been fertilized. Yes, there is a baby chicken inside the egg. Okay, let me repeat. There is a whole, dead, baby chicken inside the egg. They bury them inside of a fire pit and make the shell really soft and then they coat them with fish oil or something. I threw the whole egg into my mouth and started chewing. The thing burst fluid into my mouth and I could feel hard bones or what felt like gristle cartilage crunching under my teeth. I tried to swallow and only got about half of it down, and that's when I started to throw up a half-eaten baby chicken and eggshell. Some of it came out of my nose. TLDR. Ate baby chicken in the shell. Puked. Came out nose. Ordering. And then eating. Uni at that sushi bar. The taste wasn't that bad, but the texture was really something I hope to never experience again in my life. The texture is like a melted Nerf football, or porous orange shaving cream. Smoking nutmeg. 15 years later and I still get a horrible shiver up my back when thinking about it. Worst, most acrid taste ever. Chicken gizzard shish kebab for breakfast in Indonesia. Wasn't actually sure what it was before I put it in my mouth. I don't so much regret it, as it was the first thing I ate on the first day of a 2-month stay, so after that everything was well. I ate chicken guts. Why not? But I do wish I did not gain the knowledge of the difference in texture of chicken heart and chicken liver in one mouthful. Eating jellyfish tentacles in China. Thought I would get revenge on those bastards for stinging me as a kid. That was a terrible plan. It tasted like salt had somehow rotted. I wanted to spit it out but there were girls watching, so dumb teenage me of course had to take the man up and chew option. They were so rubbery it felt like it took minutes, and none of the girls were impressed. Never again. When I was a kid I went to the World Buffet at the Rio in Las Vegas with my parents and was checking out the Asian food section. I tried sushi and California rolls for the first time. Liking them, I then looked over at dips and what appeared to me was guacamole. I plopped a spoonful on my food then started to eat it. That was the day I discovered wasabi. XP. I worked at a Taco Bell in my college food court area. I did not have a job all summer, as I was only home for the summer. When I got the job, I was ecstatic. My first day, which was the first day of classes as well, I worked the 11 to lunch shift. I quit the next day and got a new job half an hour later. Chicken butt. Just because you know the word chicken in another country doesn't make it safe. Worst Valentine's Day meal ever. Had a friend come to our house to do a paragliding lesson. Was supposed to come back from it around 4 PM to help with dinner, before everyone had cell phones. She came back at 7 with bruises on her face and tree debris everywhere in her hair. She had gotten scared and dropped off the cliff with the instructor instead of running. He managed to gain control, but they rammed into trees. Fire rescue came and got them down. She just kept shaking her head saying, "I shouldn't have done that. It must have scared the living bejeebies out of her." Worked in retail. One time. Never, ever again. How people subject themselves to such condescension and lack of gratitude for minimum wage is beyond me. I once ate a live baby octopus. Dear Lord, I can still vividly remember the tentacles sticking to my teeth and the disgusting crunchy pop of the eyeballs. Never, never again. I bought octopus, or maybe it was jellyfish, with my girlfriend because I thought it would be fun and cultural, and maybe taste good. It was really bad, and worse than that, it was presented really lamely, and was pretty much an easily forgettable experience. Oh yeah, except it cost $22. I've never been one to waste money food, but we basically just bought it and didn't eat more than a bite. That $22 still haunts me. Hey whoa, octopus is pretty good. Sounds like you just went to a crappy restaurant. Taco challenge. 10 Taco Bell soft tacos. It was really good until around number 7. Then it was bad. At the end of the 10th taco, I ripped it in half to get a smaller bite and the sight made me gag. Spent the ride home drunk with my head out of the window and the rest of the day recovering. 10 tacos doesn't sound like too many tacos. Taco Bell tacos are pretty small too. Skitching a car. Riding a skateboard whilst holding on to the back of a car. It went well at first until the Dutch nozzle gunned it. My board began to wobble and finally gave out. I ended up faceplanting on concrete going about 25 miles per hour and had road rash on my forehead and I might have broken my nose. TLDR. Skitched a car and ended up eating gravel. Having run the frick out of ideas to get the attention of crush at party, I rose the frick up to a dare-like man and attempted to put my hand in and out of a rotating ceiling fan, citing the philosophical axiom out loud that it is not dangerous if you cannot fail. Oh, did I fail? Spent 2 summers in China. Don't try all the food. If you do, both your stomach and butt will hate you. Not to mention that having the runs in a land full of filthy squatty potties, rural areas, is a punishment that should be deterrent in itself. P.S. Most food was delicious though. Eating stinky tofu. It was at a very nice restaurant. People say, yeah it smells, but so does cheese. I love stinky cheese, so I figure why not? Well, it tasted like a bum's nutsack dipped in stagnant swamp water. Dated my next door neighbor. Called it off when she cheated on me. My window faced hers. Every time that light was on got me wondering which poor frick she was banging this time. Tried playing a game of Monopoly once. It went well for a while. I bought out a few places and milked off the rent until I moved into some higher priced areas. Of course, I made a buttload of money in the end, but I think I screwed it over when I tried to run for president and question the legitimacy of one of the other candidates. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.